Hey, what's up, gamers? Today we'll be talking about just some first impressions of Black Myth Wukong before I go and play it again. So I'm just gonna do like a quick rundown on what I think the game is, if it's good or not, or whether you should buy it or not, and yeah, let's just get right into it. First up, visuals. It has very great visuals. I think this is one of the earlier devs that are not Unreal, so not Fortnite. That's really utilizing the Unreal Engine 5. But this is a great showcase on what the Unreal Engine 5 can actually do. It is really good, stunningly good. I'm using it on an RTX 4070 Super, and I can put it on very high settings at 1440p, and it is a treat. You've seen the trailers, you've seen people's gameplay. It is a very nice looking game. Granted, it's more focused on like the background. It's got a lot of trees and mountains and stuff like that. Due to it not being open world, you can't really go and explore it, but just visuals alone, it is really good. The art design is also very good, something that's not very common, at least to me, because most of the time we either play Western inspired games or Japanese inspired games, but not really Chinese inspired games. And this is one of the few games wherein Chinese mythology is really up on the forefront, because it is based on Journey to the West. Granted, there are already characters that's sort of based on that, Son Goku in Dragon Ball Z being one of them. It is a treat to actually just enjoy the lore, enjoy the stories that it tells, because there's a lot of good stories within the game, like a little sub stories, especially for like the bosses, that I think a lot of people will like and can gravitate to. Now, with regards to gameplay mechanics, a lot of people are comparing it to the Souls-like games, but I don't think it's actually very Dark Souls-like. It's more hack and slashy, a little bit more Devil May Cry in my opinion in terms of combat. Although it does have the Souls-like themes, wherein you have like sort of bonfire systems, and you have the way you heal would be similar to Estus flasks. That's really where the Souls-like kind of ends. Again, I'm comparing it a lot closer to Devil May Cry than Dark Souls. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty simple, but also kind of in-depth. You really only have two different attack styles, which is your light attack and your heavy attack, but there is a lot of depth when it comes to character building, because there's a lot of abilities that you can focus on and just, try to sort of main. Like, you can main certain instances and you can focus on just certain abilities where you want to, kind of go with your playstyle. But yeah, other than that, it's really not as much Souls-like as I wanted. But that's not a bad thing, because it does have an air of easiness to it in terms of certain mechanics, where I think if you're the type of person that doesn't like to play Souls-like games because of how hard it is, Black Myth Wukong is a very good starting point where you can just start and get into these types of games. The boss fights are great. It has a lot of focus on boss fights. In fact, there's so many bosses actually. You go and walk on a certain path and you just encounter like a random boss out of nowhere. There are main bosses that you have to encounter through the story, but there are also like sub or mini bosses that you fight that sometimes you can completely miss if you don't explore. They have a really good emphasis on 1v1 fighting with the bosses, and I guess that's also a Souls-like experience. But yeah, the variety of the bosses are really great, and I can't wait to fight more of them. I'm still on chapter 2, so there's probably more ahead of me, and I'm really excited to just keep going. In terms of abilities, if there's any overpowered stuff, nothing that I've really encountered that's too difficult so far. There are some enemies, there's some bosses that do kind of cheese themselves, and in chapter 2 there's a lot of annoying archers, but I haven't really encountered anything where I said that it's kind of overpowered. One issue that I do sort of have is some of the enemies have too much HP sometimes. Some bosses have too much HP, and it kind of drags the fight a little bit longer. So there isn't really a moment where you can, one shot, two shot, or three shot opponents. You really have boss fights, you really do have to fight them. But the difficulty progression is simplified, because every time you die, right, unlike a Souls game, you don't lose souls. So when you die, you can just continue to go to that boss again, fight like little enemies here and there, and you would eventually sort of level up. So that sort of helps in dealing with difficult situations and difficult bosses, so you never really get stuck. Another thing to note is that you can reset your stats willy-nilly. So there's no limitation to resetting your stats. You can just reset your stats anytime you want. And that opens up different playstyles. And it encourages people to change their playstyle and try new playstyles without really risking anything, because you don't really lose anything. Now, in terms of story and cultural significance, again, this is probably one of the few games that are really putting the Chinese literature and culture in the forefront. So I think it is a good game to, kind of put us into that particular perspective, because we don't really know much personally. At least me myself, I don't really know much about Chinese culture, and this is a good intro for me. The community and the reception for the game, as far as I know, like in Twitter and in the spaces where I hang out, like Reddit and Facebook, so it's a little bit mixed. Some people kind of like it, some people kind of hate it, which I do understand in terms of certain aspects, gameplay wise. Like, I don't like the invisible walls. A lot of people don't like the invisible walls because there's a lot of areas where you can't actually go to because there's invisible walls, and it can be a little bit cumbersome to encounter them all the time. I don't think the combat is simple at all. It has a lot of nuance into it, and really, as you play more chapters, it kind of opens up the things that you can do, and it kind of does increase the combat variation. So I don't think there's any issues with that one. On my side of the fence, I think it's pretty good. I have a very positive feedback on the game right now. Regarding its controversies and other discussions regarding political sensitivities, I don't care. If that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for diversity, I don't care. If it's a good game, it's a good game. If it's a bad game, it's a bad game. It's a good game. I don't care what else is surrounding it regarding whatever political stuff that's being covered. Just play your game, man. If you don't like it, just don't play it. Just shut the fuck up. Lastly, we go into performance issues. I don't think there's any performance issues, for me at least. Granted, I have a strong PC. Not sure how it is on consoles because I don't play it on console. But there is an issue with the game not having an actual physical copy. So all the games, they do sell like a deluxe edition where there's like a Wukong statue and stuff like that, but the game is not there. You have to download it, and I think that's a problem. I personally like physical media because I like the idea of actually owning a game, and I like the idea of where if suddenly my internet goes out, I can still play my game as long as I have the CD. Pop it in. I don't need internet. It just works. I hope we go back to some physical media, man. Physical media needs some love. Otherwise, these corporations are just gonna start screwing us over. Anyway, final thoughts just to wrap up my overall impression of Black Myth Wukong. It's great. Good game. I like it. Me like it. You should like it too. So if you haven't played it, let me know if you are interested in playing it. And you can always watch somebody play it. You don't have to result to making a poor decision, because again, not all games are for everyone. Right? Some people won't like it, some people will like it. I personally like it, but you might not like it. So watch somebody else play it, watch a streamer play it, watch a review, watch me, and make up your own mind. And if you've already played it, let me know your experiences, or what are your expectations on Black Myth Wukong in the comments. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. You know the deal. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.